Namaste and welcome to ManaTV once again. This is Vani welcoming you all to UVW, United Voice of Women, for you from the studios of ManaTV, New Jersey, USA. Well, friends, I'm so glad to be back again with you today to talk about the United Voice of Women. What we do here is UVW means an ode to the woman. UVW is a celebration of women. UVW is empowerment of women, and UVW is inspiration by and for women. As we discussed last week, we are all so impressed, so inspired by women that are, let's say, the pride of India. They have created history and they have even become a part of history in our curriculum in India. And these are the kind of women that we are all definitely inspired by. And then there are so many women that have actually made their place on the maps, the global maps and the global markets. These are also women that we are so inspired by. But what I want to tell you again is that I am equally, if not more, inspired by women that are around us and among us, because these are women that are not really recognized, but these are women that fight everyday trials and tribulations, and they want to achieve success and adulations, not because somebody else asked them to, not because they are connected in any way. They are just doing it because they want to do it. And these are the kind of women we want to bring to you on UVW ManaTV. So of course, once again today, I have got exactly that kind of a guest in our studios. This woman, all right, she is an entrepreneur, she's a doctor, she's an orator, she's a speaker, and she's also the owner of Radio Zindagi. Now, Radio Zindagi happens to be the first and the largest South Asian radio station in North America. Radio Zindagi also happens to be the first South Asian New York radio station, which is another honor. And Radio Zindagi also happens to be the first and only South Asian radio station that was invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I said a lot already. I think it's time for me to take the pleasure of introducing you to the lady, Dr.Nimisha Shukla. Pleasure having you with us here on ManaTV, Doctor. How are you today?
I'm good and pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's really an honor to have you here.
Actually, I'm so grateful that you have chosen me to inspire other women in this country. So I'm really thankful to you.
Thank you. I mean, I hope you understand this concept. I have known you. I met you about an year and a half maybe. And the first time I met with you, the way you spoke to me, your story, just simply had me wowed, okay? And I'm so glad that I actually have a platform today where I can have others, be wowed with your experiences and what you have done. You find it something very normal, right? The way you have entered all these industries. I'm an entrepreneur in medicine and in media and in telecom and in fine arts, if I'm right, a dance school, etc.
Yes.
Yes. So they are so diverse industries, doctor, right? And how would you start talking about these things? Maybe by telling me what is your motivation behind being able to take on so many different industries?
I have never had a plan of entering one particular industry by design or by premonition or anything. Every time I entered an industry, it is because I felt that there was a need. There was a need in that particular industry for a greater good, and that has been my driving force. Uh, Same reason for becoming a doctor, for becoming a pediatrician, for being a lifelong children's advocate. Since 1986, so it's been now a long journey, 31 years of being a dedicated child's advocate. And I went into that field also at a young age of 22 years after I completed my MBBS, because I wanted to be there when human beings are developing. Once you are developed, it's a different story. But by seeing a newborn, when a baby is born, can not even look at your face or recognize you unless you are close to say about 24 inches to the face. And that same baby over a period of 12 to 18 years is like you and me, talking, walking, and today talking about inspiring other women.
Yes.
So this process of development is what attracted me to become a pediatrician. And it is the same story which I'm repeating, I think, in my life over and over again, that I am in the mode of developing. And now the development of an industry takes place where I see a need. And that's my motivation. My motivation is that when I see that, yes, there is a need and I can contribute there, so that's where I jump in. That's how I'm in all these different industries.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because most of the people, doctor, would want to get into an industry or activity because they have a passion for it, right? But when you say it is need based, so how do you know that there is a need? Oh, so are you saying that you see in a particular industry an opportunity that could help people?
I still again want to use the word need than opportunity.
Need, okay.
Because when I see that there is a need, that I personally feel that, oh, I wish this was there. I wish this was there in our community. And that's when I jump in.
So need is the definition that you're giving to need is that you felt something like that, if I knew was there in the market, it would be helpful to me.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what I want, that it is need based. Today, let's say an iPhone, right? Because all of us use. Where is iPhone created? Not in China or India. It is created in the mind of Steve Jobs.
Correct.
So your mind perceives that need, that I wish this kind of phone was there. And
yeah.
that's
what else can you do with it?
Correct. And that's the same, I'm giving this example because all of us have heard about iPhone. But majority of the entrepreneurs, they see either an opportunity or they see a need. My life has been driven by need because money has always followed me. Okay? I go after skills and then money just follows. And being an MD in pediatrics from Bombay and then a board certified in US, and I've also done a short fellowship in England. So there were many ways I could make money. But when need talked to me, I thought that I should go in and try to fulfill that need.
Doctor, I think right here I see a very clear inspiration that can actually be noted. You said you find the need, be observant of things around you, find the need, okay? And then do what you can to make it happen. And when you start doing that, money will automatically follow. So this is for so many women out there who, you know, sometimes do not know what they want to do. They feel that there are no opportunities in the world. And here you are telling me that we can create it all by ourselves, and that's what you have actually done.
Exactly that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, so I saw a need, and when I see a need, and in your day-to-day life, right, you're going through from morning, you wake up till night, you sleep, you will always tell yourself, I wish this was there. And that's where you go in. Because that question, once it comes in your mind, you're going to try and find that answer, and that's where the entrepreneurship will begin. Because if it is need for you and it's not served by the market, then there are many other people who have that need, and you try to step in. And this is a rewarding process, because you are not going just there because there is no other avenue to make money. You are going there to fulfill need. Money will just follow, because whatever you give it out to universe, that's what you get it back. And I call it science of becoming wealthy. This is the science of becoming wealthy. Understand the need, go out and fulfill the need, and then it will come back to you. But for me, money has never been a motivation, as I said, because when I was 26 years old, I already had an MD pediatrics degree, and I became assistant professor in University of Bombay. So for me, generation of money was very easy as a physician, as an MD pediatrician. That was never an issue. So for me, other areas started when I saw a need.
But this is just now what you said, doctor. I would say in Oprah's words, it's an aha moment. Because it surely is. I mean, it makes so much sense. Okay, totally understandable. And I think you are even capable of giving some examples. As a pediatrician, I understand that it happened. You studied like everybody else, and you got into this profession, and yes, the money started coming in. But whatever else you did, though you did not want the money came anyway. But what you were looking for was the need. What is happening? You wanted to be cognizant of things around you. So why don't you tell us a little about your gig with the telecom industry?
So that's a classic example.
Exactly.
I came to this country in 1992, and when I came in, for all of us, some of the viewers can connect with me who have come here early.
Early what, 90s or 80s?
80s and 90s, or even 70s and 60s. For us to call India was a decision to be made. Are we willing to spend that $1.03 a minute? We did not have the luxury to go ahead and talk for an hour, because we don't have to worry about money. We can call India either free or 2 or 3 cents a minute.
Correct.
When I came in, it was calling at $1.03. And for me to speak to my own mother, my brother, my father, it was mathematics in my mind. And I said, let's not do math, let's just talk. And that's where I entered telecom industry. My single aim was to make sure that pricing to call our own family members can go down to such a level that we can all talk easily. So much before the technology of VoIP came, which is voice over internet protocol, I worked very hard to bring down call rate to India. When I started, it was $1.03 per minute, and when I left that industry, I brought it down to 17 cents per minute. So I thought that was good contribution from my side for all of us, all the Indians living in USA, to be able to call at a really fraction of a price than what I used to pay.
What was there in the industry at that time?
Correct, when I entered the industry. And
so you're talking about phone cards, right? You created something like phone cards?
No, I actually entered in through dial around system, much before birth of phone cards. So the dial around industry was by using smaller players in telecom industry, use their switches and try to tell them that rather than keeping a margin of 80 cents per minute, why don't you come and keep the margin of 50 cents a minute, and I'll bring down the rate. And rather than using MCI, my fellow countrymen can just use that telephone, dial an 800 number, and that gives them access to that smaller player switch, who is willing to take down the profit and reduce his profit. In compensation, we are sending volume to him, so that with volume his profit is not really reduced, though per minute it is reduced, but by volume they are making it up. And that's where I started working on what was called dial around industry. Later on, the same industry in dial around had issue with bad debt, because if you do not pay your bills, then they are cutting down their cost, and clients or customers did not pay the bill. So it was not that profitable for smaller players in telecom. That's when the birth of prepaid came. So with prepaid, they could reduce their prices further, so that now bad debt is out of question.
Yes.
Because prepayment has occurred.
Yes.
And they are selling you blocks of minutes. And that industry, it probably started in 98, 97, when the...
So that took birth after they caught on with your idea, maybe, right? When something
I
was
don't know.
introduced. When
Yes.
something was introduced as a mediator, right, between what was and what happened later. You were the one in the middle, I guess.
Yes, I
right?
think
Who just brought in something different.
Yes, so then the next level came when it was to cut down bad debt, prepaid industry was born. And once prepaid industry was born, now how do you deliver it to an average consumer? So prepaid phone cards were printed, and at that point I realized that why is a need for a physical product with a touch and feel? Because I perceived this as a virtual product.
Yes.
I perceived this as virtual
right
product.
In the beginning.
Right. And a right person at the right time, right? Internet was developing, and we thought
online
of going and developing an e-commerce. And that's where we developed very few players in the entire United States who were even interested in e-commerce, or who even believed that something can be sold on internet.
Correct.
That who would give a credit card on internet? Because
none of us believed in that.
Nobody. I have so many emails stored in my computer where people have said that I must be the craziest person thinking that they are going to give me credit card on internet.
And it happened.
And it happened.
And today it's a way of life.
Yes, and
today it's a way of life. So
yes.
Wow, what an example, doctor. That is really a classic example, like you said, about looking for the need and doing something. So that's one thing. Tell me about this dance very quickly too, because I have so many things to talk to you about. Right, so tell me about this. How did you get into fine arts?
Fine arts, because I have to give some credit to my daughters, because both my daughters, one does Bharatnatyam and the other does Kathak. I found growing, seeing in this area, living in New Jersey, I found that I did have a lot of choice to look for a Bharatnatyam teacher. But my choice to find a trained and a degree holder, a structured curriculum Kathak teacher was very limited. When I found this, life put me at such a doorstep where I had to practice what I preach. I came to a road in my life when a teacher was available in New Jersey, and I could contribute by writing letters to INS and saying that we do need a qualified Kathak teacher in New Jersey, so that many more children over next 10 or 20 years can learn this art, and eventually different forms of art, when they come together, a new form of art is evolved. An example of this is flamenco dance in Spain, which has evolved from Kathak.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and this, when I came to know that a Kathak qualified teacher is available, I decided to put resources behind it. I knew that there was no way I will make money in this venture, but I decided to practice what I preach, and I said I will start this company and I will give this gift to New Jersey kids so that they have an option. There is a qualified teacher in New Jersey who can give them a structured curriculum.
Correct.
To learn Kathak.
You also give them degrees, don't you?
Correct. So I went one step further, and I have collaborated with Bharati Vidyapit. It is a 75 years old university in Pune, and It is a very big university. It has a medical campus, it has engineering campus, dentistry campus, pharmacy campus, apart from BA, BCom, BSc, Masters and PhDs. So they also have a very, very strong fine art programs where they give bachelor and masters and even PhD in fine arts.
Wow.
So I collaborated with Bharati Vidyapit, and we can give here bachelor, which in Sanskrit is Visharad, and masters means Alankar. So we can give bachelor and masters in Kathak with a structured curriculum of Bharati Vidyapit here. And I am actually happy to say that our first batch of 3 children who will be becoming Visharad is on June 2nd.
Wow, so, congratulations about that.
Wow. Thank you. I think I'm very proud of that.
Another beautiful achievement.
Yes, and then about 80 students are getting degrees every single day. It's a structured curriculum. Bharati Vidyapit sends us curriculum and the exam papers. They are sealed. There is a written exam, there is an oral exam, and there is a live dance exam.
Practical.
Yes.
Wow.
And it is conducted with external examiner. So this kind of structured curriculum availability is not easy. Okay.
But again, this just goes to say that another enterprise was born just because you saw the need.
Exactly. And I hope that, you know, many more children take advantage of it. And even, you know, after my death, children here will learn Kathak, they will learn hip hop, and sometimes the art will merge and a new art form will come up. And that will be something that we can say that we came to US, we brought this heritage with us, and we contributed and gave it back to America.
And I know that you always speak about giving back. It has been part of your lifestyle.
It has to be, because when you give back, you get actually a lot more in return.
Well, I mean, you know, talking to you now, it doesn't sound like, you know, koi sadhu sant hai hum, वापस दे रहे हैं, and all that. The way you are talking about it is very enterprising, right? It is a win-win situation for everybody involved, basically.
That's
you're
true.
giving back, at the same time you're gaining so much out of it all, and you know that you are also having the satisfaction of doing something that you think could be your legacy.
Absolutely. Classic example is me sitting here in front of you today.
I guess, I mean, and you are just a woman that we see around us, right? And nobody knows exactly how much and what you're doing, but just look at you. But tell me something, doctor. I'm sure while you're doing all this, you would have faced the normal trials and tribulations, so-called tribulations, with managing family, kids, profession, and multi-dimensional profession. What did you think were your challenges?
Challenges is time management. All of us have only one challenge, truly, and that is 24 hours in a day.
You believe that that's the primary?
That is the only true challenge.
So
other things you can work around it, but can you change number of hours given to you? That is the only true challenge in my life.
Wow, interesting. So what about you being a woman? Does it in any way, did it in any way, let me say, put any trials in front of you just because you were a woman? It was a little difficult, or it was a little easy for you to do what you did?
I would say there are places where there is an advantage of being a woman, and there are places where there is a disadvantage of being a woman.
So what would you say are the advantages?
Advantages is that people always underestimate women. Okay, so every time I have been underestimated, I have taken full advantage of it.
Because nobody is looking at what you're doing. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Nobody's paying attention.
Nobody thinks that I'm going to be giving them that formidable challenge.
Nobody's considering you a competition.
Exactly.
So you're safe.
I wouldn't say safe, but I have that added advantage of acquiring market share silently.
Wow. Don't make noise.
No, because men are there everywhere in the media, on all platforms, in Indian organizations, on the stage,
Everywhere.
on every committee. So they are seen and they are monitored. Women are not seen and not monitored because they think that we are not going to be the formidable challenge.
Wow.
So that is
Very
the biggest
interesting.
advantage of being a woman.
Another aha moment there, doctor. I love it. Such a wonderful point. What are we complaining about, right? All these advantages are hidden.
Yes, and these advantages we have to capitalize on. And I'll tell you one more advantage that I got, being a short person and inconspicuous, like you said.
Correct,
That
yeah.
I look like a regular person.
Yes,
right?
yes,
I am
absolutely.
Not, so nobody sees that
You as a
inside
threat.
this regular person, there is a mind which is sitting there who is
Playing.
going to go after my competition.
Wow.
So that is
Silent.
the other advantage that I have taken.
Silent.
Yes.
Wow.
One more advantage that women have, I am more, let's focus on advantages.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
disadvantages are everywhere.
Exactly.
Right?
You're so
But
right.
we focus on the advantages. First is that we are not considered a real threat. So that's where you have the whole industry is wide open for you. Right? Second, the appearances and all, they are deceiving. They
Correct.
think that we are not going to be as strong as them just
Correct.
because we look smaller in size.
Correct.
Because our muscle mass is less. No, I'm fighting with you with my gray matter, not with my muscle mass.
You are a woman
Third-
to reckon with, doctor. Yes.
Third, I want to say that women are very detail oriented. This is a distinct advantage
Disciplined.
over men. Detail
Detail oriented and disciplined.
If it wasn't for women in the committee, 90% of the work won't
Things
be
wouldn't
done.
run in
Yes.
yeah.
So this detail oriented genetic advantage we have, let's explore that, because we have better ability to go into the details, address it and fix it. And the last one is, women talk a lot, they have social connections. We are able to gather support of other women. We are not here trying to territorize. We are
Correct.
not scenting like lions and saying that this is my territory. We are not afraid of other women. So we can get together much easier because of all the disadvantages over centuries that women have faced. That is why we have learned to network better, talk to each other better, and be there in times of need. So let's take advantage of this support. This is why we are here, United
Voice
Voice
of women. Exactly.
We don't have to do United Voice of Men, do we?
Exactly. We don't really need to. You're right. I don't think they
So-
can even be united.
Exactly,
I'm not
because
sure
they are
about that.
territorial. That's why they want to have war against this and about the boundaries of countries and all. So why it is easier for us to get united, and that is a distinct advantage in business.
What about the men in our lives? The role that they play, as fathers, as husbands, as sons, okay? Predominantly, maybe the husband's part, it is there that they're not really, as supportive as we would like. Not everybody is. A lot of people maybe are suffering through those disadvantages. Some maybe just created, right? Because they're never even giving themselves a chance. So that is another thing that I'm discussing nowadays, because if you yourself decide you want to do it, I don't think somebody is as strong up there to really stop you. But there are a few men that can influence you in a way that you're not really able to, express yourself in totality. So, what would you say would be your suggestion, or how would you say you would want to handle a situation like that, wherein your spouse is not giving you that independence that you want?
Once again, I like to say that emotional empowerment is the challenge of this age for women. So, emotionally, we have to empower ourselves. This is not going to be given by any man, any legislation, any society, whether it is American society or Indian society or Filipino society or British society. This we have to work on. We have to emotionally empower ourselves. We have to tell ourselves that I am emotionally capable of rising above any situation that comes in my life. And let's not blame spouses or
fathers,
legislation or anything. Let us just emotionally empower our own selves. I want to go a little bit in detail on this.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you look at 18th century and 19th century, issue was educating women. So educational empowerment of women, right?
Correct.
So these are the tools that we need to be really there. So educational empowerment took place in 18th century, 19th century, 20th century and in 21st century.
Correct.
Today we have reached statistically
much better level.
Out of 100 graduates, guess how many are women?
60, 50, 40?
More than 50%.
More than 50%, I was right.
So about 53% are women and men are only 47%. So who is empowered educationally? We are more empowered educationally. Why are we complaining, right? Because more graduates are women than men today. So we are already educationally empowered. Where the area for improvement is in STEM. If you look at STEM graduates, that is STEM is science, technology, engineering and mathematics.
Okay.
So we say take STEM graduates, 100 of them, only 30% are women and 70% are men.
Okay.
So, though total number of graduates more are women, but we have graduated more in fine arts and in art forms, in the social studies.
The
not in technology. Hardcore STEM subjects, which really changes the way human beings live. There we are lagging. So, I encourage every young woman to tell their own children or any other women or girls that go in STEM. Because we want to be educationally empowered, not just graduate level degrees, but graduate level degrees in STEM. In STEM. So that is one area of empowerment, of educational empowerment.
One step towards it.
Yes.
The first step towards it.
The first step is we have reached in numbers. Second step is now we are talking about quality. Not just quantity. So quantity wise we are more than 50%, but quality wise we have to also be there neck and neck with men in STEM degrees. That is one. Second phase came, which is economic empowerment. And that's where we talk all the time that there is a glass ceiling, women's pay is not as much as men's pay.
Yes, they're all fighting for it even today.
So this economic empowerment has happened over last 40 years. More and more women are going out and earning their own money. They don't have to ask their husband, their father, their son for money. And if you have the educational empowerment, but you have never used that tool to convert it into an economic empowerment, that educational empowerment has not been fully exploited.
Fulfilled,
So we want to go out and make it into an economic empowerment. So today we are seeing that lot of breadwinners in society, in family are women now. A lot of women are earning more than their husbands.
Spouses, correct.
So even economic empowerment, we are there, we are working, we are fighting at the legislative levels. Now the next area is emotional empowerment. And here I want to say again and again, let's not blame anybody. Let's not talk about spouses, fathers and sons. We ourselves will emotionally empower to say that we are capable. We do not need to be empowered by spouses in our life, by fathers in our life. We do not need a legislation or a society. Just the way men are empowered just at birth, we are empowered at birth. Okay? And that's it, period. That's what I have taken as my sole agenda whenever I go on women's talk shows or women empowerment. I want to tell every woman, every girl, every child out there that let us emotionally empower. That is the challenge of this time, and let's go there. We are done with educational empowerment. We are there with economical empowerment, though not pay parity yet, but the next frontier is emotional empowerment, and let's work on that frontier.
Wow. Truly amazing. Doctor, you know, one question while we're talking about it. So now I'm thinking, you have your educational empowerment, you have your emotional empowerment.
Economic empowerment.
Economic empowerment also. But still, you know, we still hear a lot of stories about women in very high positions, etc., that were going through, let's say, some kind of domestic abuse and, you know, various things that have actually held that person back from even sharing it with the society. That is something that is quite prevalent even today for whatever reason, right? There is domestic abuse, and these educated, economically strong women are still not ready to talk about it because it is considered taboo.
Right. So what others do, we have no control, right? When
So
in domestic abuse, when women are abused, it is not in their power to control their spouses.
Correct.
But what is in our power is to emotionally empower ourselves and stand up to that man for that abuse, and stand up to that man and get resources and help from the society and stand up, and also mentor other women who are going through domestic abuse. We have not done very good job in mentoring at our workplace or mentoring other people who are going through similar situations as us. I see a lot of room for women in that area.
There's a big need, I think, over there to try and inculcate that kind of culture that it's okay. Right? It's okay to talk about it.
It's okay to talk
and
about
do
it.
And once you talk about it, I think the next step would be to do something anyway, I would feel. The whole problem is to be able to voice it.
Right.
Why is it so, doctor? I mean, when you are saying there's so much of empowerment, and that's true, all modern women, and they are going through this kind of things, a lot of them, and even here, you know, with all these, you know, our developments, Indian developments, right? We all know, you know, you've seen lots of cop cars so many times. It is said it's all about domestic abuse somewhere around you. It's happening all the time around you.
I say to all those women, look inside you and don't be an emotional slave. Just get out and tell your own self that I am going to face this and get out of it. It is you have to talk to your own selves and get out of it. The first step you take is going to be hard, but then the second and third step will be easier, and one day you will be able to actually find that need in the society and do something about that. I have always felt that if something that I go through and I find a need, I raise myself to that occasion and I jump in. Fortunately, I haven't gone through this.
So you have not yet entered into that space as such.
And it will be hypocritical on my part to say that I am fully aware of how to address it.
You're right.
Because this is a sensitive topic.
Yes, very,
and
very.
Every woman, based on how they were brought up, they are already carrying that emotional burden of how to behave. So let's break that barrier, because you are taking that abuse only because you have been told that this is the way you have to behave.
Correct.
So first thing is break those barriers, and education is an equalizer. So if you have been educated, develop that courage to fight, develop the courage to fight and empower yourself.
And
That's
like
what I
you
would
said,
say.
nobody else can do anything about it. You will have to do it yourself.
Exactly. And
Right.
in a way it is good that we have reached that stage. If you were interviewing me 50 years ago,
You wouldn't
I
be talking this boldly about
because
this. Correct.
by then
Taboo.
you and I wouldn't be in this
Yes.
economic environment.
Correct.
Where we don't have to worry about who is bringing bread to my table tomorrow.
Yes, you're so right. We can't even talk, but we've already come to a stage where we can. I think it's just a short step that we need to take. Right now, wherever
sure.
we are. Just another short step, and it only happens from within you.
Exactly.
And that's the emotional empowerment that we are talking about.
Exactly.
Wow, wow, amazing, amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope all of you are enjoying this part of our UVW show with Dr. Nimisha Shukla here. Yes, she's a woman just like you and me that we see around us and among us. And she's talking to us about what she has done in her small ways. And they turned out to be such big things, you know, for the community and also for yourself as an achievement, I would say, right?
Yes.
Without really wanting to get into
Yes,
some big
you know,
businesses or...
Yeah, it was never a drive to be, there on all the stage, all the stages that we see in the community, or be there everywhere.
Yes.
My drive was
It didn't
fulfill
start
the need.
because that...
No, fulfill
yeah.
the need. And if you are honest to yourself, it just, business just flourishes. I always believe whatever you give out to universe gives it back.
Wow. You look to me like I get a visual of a farmer busily just toiling the soil and going away. You know, he's not thinking about what he's growing, where it is going, right? I mean,
Right.
you just, I think, just
Yes, so do things, and
quietly
when you do
doing,
things,
you're doing what you're doing.
do things and have fun when you are doing. Stay honest to yourself and have fun when you are doing it.
Amazing.
And it provides that fun is so infectious to
Important.
your own self,
Self.
that it gives you drive. I can't wait next day to
Exciting.
get up
Exciting.
and go and finish what was left yesterday, because I'm having so much fun.
And you have so much to look forward to, and you are creating this for yourself to have something every day to look forward to.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yes, I am having
Is
a
that
lot
right?
of fun in all areas that I work in.
Wow.
And so that is why time is my
Biggest-
really limitation, because it's
That's
8
amazing.
o'clock or it's 7 o'clock and I have to go somewhere, and okay, now is time to wind down and get ready for next day. I always wish I had a couple of more hours to address this, because I'm
hours.
having so much fun.
So now, you know what, this is again a beautiful way of saying that if, any of us out there are feeling that we are feeling down and we are not happy about things, it's only because we do not have enough to do.
Enough things
Enough
to
to
do that
do.
gives you fun.
I mean, first of all, if you have some things to take care of and you enjoy it, correct.
Yes.
Fun is important because you're supposed to enjoy it. And doctor, you're saying that you never felt that the burden of taking care of the children, that taking care
Yeah.
of the home, all this, don't you feel like this is some kind of burden, and it is a difficulty, and it is a challenge to do what you want to do? Because every
Yes,
other housewife
challenges
does,
are there.
including
So-
me.
So every challenge, I make it an opportunity. So raising my children actually have come, every business that I have started or now own. My children were there when they were 3 and 4 years old. They would come with me to my practice, and I gave them a job of giving stickers to every child who goes out of my practice. So they
Yeah.
were the managers of
Kept
stickers
them
and
busy.
lollipop.
Wow.
And all throughout, my children, after their 3:34, when they come back home, sometimes they will come to my office, do their homework as I'm seeing patients, and I think that, you know, I just involve my children in whatever I do, and then it becomes part of their fun too. And I hope that, you know, with this, I can give that empowerment to my two girls.
Yeah.
That is my goal, that they see me up front close doing everything. And with that, you know, I wish that, you know, nature is good to them, God is good to them, and they use their strengths and get themselves emotionally empowered. So I'm not got bogged
Never
down
bogged
with
down.
any.
Because most of the women around us are actually bogged down by that. They
So-
seem to be talking about, you know, how difficult it is being a woman, that you're also doing a job, okay, and you're taking care of the house, and you're responsible for the kids, and there is so much to do taking care of the kids that you're not able to do what you want. So,
Let me give one word answer to this.
Please.
Outsource. Outsource, outsource, outsource.
okay.
Just the way businesses outsource their stuff, I'm very big in outsourcing my domestic work.
Wow.
I calculate domestic work also in terms of hours. Okay?
Yes, yes.
So, putting your every day when we get up, things are all over the house, at least because of me having two children.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my husband, we are enjoying television at night,
Yes.
things are all over.
Yes.
First 10 minutes I gather things and put it up, and then I know that gathering things is only 10 minutes job and I want to do it personally. But if it is about cooking every day and then cleaning everything out
Yes.
after that,
Yes.
it is a 2 hours job.
It is.
So outsource it. If it is coming in your way, just outsource it.
Wow. Because you know you can do much better in those 2 hours.
Exactly.
More meaningful.
And you know, there are many ways, and when there is a will, there is a way.
So right. So right.
You know, you try to cut corners in so many other areas in life, right? So why not just have some kind of creative way of getting certain work done by outsourcing it to some other person over weekend, and
Especially
then
here,
adjusting.
it's all available around you too to outsource things like this, right?
And
it's so easy here right now.
Not just that, we have to also understand that food industry is keeping now pace with us.
Correct.
There are so many things available today in supermarket. Make use of them.
They're all geared towards working women like us.
Exactly.
Right, they
So
are.
outsource.
Outsource.
Outsource. Think like a business executive. You are the CEO of your house.
Home.
And how will a CEO address the small issues? And that's how I manage all my household problems. I
Wow.
always think from the same angle.
Angle.
On the same
business.
angle.
Okay, so what if somebody comes up to you and says that, okay, so if you're going to be taking care of your home as a CEO of a company, that means you're not really giving in your personal touch. What would you say to that? If some women argued that if you're looking at it more business-like, it might not be that family touch, etc., what would you say to somebody
Yes,
like that?
it is true that some portion of personal touch will be compromised. But there is a balance in life that you have to strike. You can't be burning your candle from two ends. It will not last for a long time.
Correct.
So you make these choices on a day-to-day basis. I'm not here to say that my choices are right.
No. We're just
but
trying to see the other side.
strike a balance.
Yeah.
Whatever gives you more happiness, that's where you do. But we can't be here and complaining that our household work is bogging us down. If that is what is bogging you down, then find a solution.
Wow.
And outsource.
Interesting. Doctor, very interesting. You know what? We've got so many things to talk to you about that I didn't get to your main event yet. Let's talk about Radio Zindagi. I mean, you know, it is a huge achievement in terms of being able to get such a huge station. Right, for South Asians. And I know that you have a story, but you will have to tell us quickly because we're running out of time and we have so much to cover in that part of your life, okay? So you actually waited for what, 7 years, 8 years to be able to get that tower?
Yes, it has been more than 7-8 years. It's been actually more than 10 years that I have been trying to acquire a frequency in New York, New Jersey market, which is a mega station, at least 25,000 watts, and I also wanted to ensure that it is not just a daytime station. So I found a full market signal in WWRL, which is a 1600 AM, and when I found it, I acquired it, and now I want to create through that our voice, South Asians' voice, American Indians' voice, and a local and live programming. That's what attracts me to radio. I say often in Hindi, आवाज की दुनिया के दोस्तों.
क्या बात है.
So it is a theater of mind that every RJ creates when that radio jockey is sitting in the studio and talking, and nobody else's imagination is better than your own.
Yes.
So when RJ is talking, you are driving or you are listening to it on app, and you are creating your own imagination. And with that theater of mind, I want to give every single listener not just entertainment but education, and eventually leading to empowerment of our community.
Your 3 E's.
Yes, I always talk about 3 E's, which is entertainment, education, and empowerment of community.
Yes.
So hoping that with entertainment and putting education through having vibrant topics of discussion, community will be more educated, and that is a step towards empowerment.
Absolutely amazing. And it has also been your wish that if you wanted to leave one legacy behind you, you say that it would be the radio. Why is it so? Why is it so important to you?
Radio is very important to me because I want to create a voice for community, and without voice you are not heard.
So
right?
true. That's
So-
why we have UVW.
So voice is very important.
Powerful.
And if you don't have voice, nobody can hear. We can just talk individually. It will be nice to be on that main dial of the radio. Be there with all other communities. There are other people. There is a mainstream dial channel number. There is a mainstream. There is a black. There is a Hispanic. There are other Asian communities who have a channel number. Why not Indians?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And
Quick question, doctor. I'm thinking media, okay, looks like it's getting really powerful now. Slowly, small radio stations were cropping up here and there, okay? There was a radio, EBC, that was like a pioneer radio. Very small. It started off like a community radio, and it grew up to be big enough to want to attract so many people, etc. Now, this is a completely different level wherein, this radio station is extremely large, very powerful, all right? And especially being able to cover Manhattan, New York is the biggest thing that can happen to us, right? It is fantastic. So now you tell me, what is your goal besides this? And also what I wanted to ask you was, so media is a voice, yes, that is a personal need of yours that you want to fulfill in that way, and you know that it is going to really benefit the community, okay?
Absolutely.
Long after you're gone, all right?
Yes,
it's going to
absolutely.
continue to do so. But what about it as an enterprising opportunity, as for growing wealth and jobs creation? Do you
So-
think that is something that is there in your mind?
jobs are created by
Through media too, right?
through media.
A lot
Right
of
now,
jobs.
today, so many jobs have been created by Radio Zindagi New York,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Not just jobs, but also viewpoints are created.
Yes.
Because every RJ that comes on the radio
Comes with
is
a different-
creating a viewpoint.
Correct.
So jobs are created, viewpoints are created.
Yes.
Yes, for survival of any business, we do need to build revenue.
Correct.
But revenue is getting built. And just like my all other businesses, I am going after skills and money will
You
follow.
know money will follow,
Yes.
right?
So that is my hope that it will follow in this business too.
It has to. It has to. Because media is power. Okay, media is needed by the community. The community needs media, a platform. The entire world needs it. Like, for example, let's say Coke. Everybody has a bottle of Coke in their house, whether they're drinking it or not. Okay, but still they want to advertise continuously. Why? Because I think out of mind is
Out of sight.
out of sight. Out of sight is
out of mind.
Out of mind. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Almost
Out of
right.
sight is out of mind.
Yeah, out of sight is out of mind. So I guess that's why they want to come back. And these are all platforms. There are so many Indian businesses. There are so many American local businesses that know that we are the most affluent population. Okay, we might be a small population, okay, minority population, but we are the most affluent population. So anybody, they know that if they want buyers, real big buyers, they have it in this community. So I think media can be extremely powerful. So are you putting some things in place? I want to understand about this 8K media. What is it doing really to these radio stations, EBC and Radio Zindagi?
So Radio Zindagi in New York was sole ownership of mine. And from what I understand is that 8K Radio EBC was a combined ownership of Suresh Venkatachari with the Agarwals. And now we have merged Radio Zindagi New York and EBC Radio and trying to create a big radio under the banner of 8K, which will be serving New York, New Jersey, Connecticut market, and that will be one united voice.
Wow.
And we should see that within next few months. That
so what is the role of 8K really here?
So 8K is 8K radio is going to be the
media.
Name
8K
of
is not
the radio,
right? It's media.
I am only involved in 8K radio part. There is also other media like 8K media also owns India Abroad.
Okay.
And 8K media has some ventures in events.
Okay.
But that will be a better discussion with
I understand.
Suresh Venkatachari.
All I wanted to understand was what is the role it is playing with these radio stations, because they are self-independent. Right, these radio stations are independently able to do their programming and marketing and everything, right? So what does 8K do? 8K radio really do?
So 8K radio is a partnership between me and Suresh Venkatachari. Under that banner, we are having 1600 AM as well as the other small frequencies of EBC in it. And we will try to combine programming and create one voice. Still the ownership of frequency is maintained separately.
Okay.
So I still will continue to be the sole owner of 1600 AM, but just for the programming purposes, we are combining in a small company. As a 8K radio is a company that will be the programming company. In technical
operations, they take care of operations, let's say?
Yes. So they take care of, they are called technically programmers. And frequency owners are the owners of frequency, and we can put it in another company as a programmer. So this
and they run it. They help you run it.
Yes.
They help you run the stations.
They help you run the stations. Correct.
Awesome. So you see, another industry has been created.
Yes.
Another industry has been created here. All right. Very exciting. We are so out of time. I'm so sorry, doctor. I mean, there was so much to talk about this itself, but I must say it has been really a pleasure speaking with you once again, and this is so helpful. And the best aha moments of today were about, you just find the need around you, be cognizant of what's happening around you, and you can find a need. And when you find a need, you have a question, you try to dig deep into it, you will find an opportunity that you can explore that can be helpful to yourself and to the community. So you are actually gaining as well as giving back to the community, and that has been the sole mantra of Dr. Nimisha Shukla, our guest here today on Doctor, will you do this with us? W. Yes, United Voice of Women. Yes, time to call it a wrap for today, friends. Can't wait to catch up with you next week once again. And remember, that yes, the woman is the soul and the womb of this universe, but still she has to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But if you take them as part of your life and only concentrate and focus on winning them, okay, to win success and adulations. You will be one of the women, okay, that would be able to inspire millions out there. Thank you for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and see you next week, same time, right here on ManaTV.